All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. We are in the Mizzou Arena in Columbia, Missouri. And in the front row, we have Neil Lau and Derek Bauman. Welcome to both of you to tonight's broadcast. Here in 2024, the Atlantic Wrestling Federation has decided to take a tour of the Southeastern Conference. So we will be visiting all of the basketball arenas throughout the SEC, and tonight we are on the campus of the University of Missouri. The Mizzou Arena is the site of tonight's action as we say hello to Pops Reviews. Good to see you, my man. Been running a little behind schedule today, so I did not get the dark matches rolled before we came to air. The dark matches will be rolled later tonight or tomorrow or at some point this weekend with Joe Malenko taking on Adrian Adonis. The team will be making its debut. Mike Rotunda and Danny Spivey. The varsity club will be making their debut against Mike Graham and Manny Fernandez. And Kevin Von Erich will take on Chris Jericho in the dark matches. But tonight here in the Dave Cave, we have 4 exciting matches coming your way, including the main event, which will be a number 1 contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as Antonio Inoki takes on Dusty Rhodes. I will send you an email letter, my friend, so it will be good to hear from you. Pops, always glad to hear from you. Yes, Antonio Inoki and Dusty Rhodes will be battling it out here tonight, and the winner will get a title match against the reigning Atlantic Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis. And that match will take place 2 weeks from tonight at the February pay-per-view broadcast known as Thunderstruck. So at the Thunderstruck pay-per-view, tonight's main event winner takes on Nick Aldis for the championship. Also here tonight, we will see a no disqualification grudge match in tag team action. Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito have put Tom Zank out of action, leaving his tag team partner Brian Pillman on his own. Brian Pillman will be bringing a mystery tag team partner here to Columbia, Missouri tonight, and we will find out who that man is in tonight's penultimate matchup. Also, Blackjack Mulligan, accompanied by Chief WAHOO McDaniel, will take on Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig and his manager Bobby the Brain Heenan. WAHOO McDaniel, the head of the Atlantic Wrestling Federation chapter of the faction known as Justice for All. WAHOO and Blackjack Mulligan part of that crew, and here in the AWF they like to refer to themselves as Old School Justice. And in our opening contest, it will be a qualifying match for the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. The winner of this match will move on to a number 1 contenders match for a shot at the Midnight Express. And we are ready now for your opening contest of the televised broadcast here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect for this tag team contest. Introducing first, team number 1, former NWA World Tag Team Champions. From Boston, Massachusetts, he stands at 5'11". He weighs in at 252 pounds. This is the Prince of Darkness, Kevin Sullivan. And his tag team partner comes to you from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. He stands at 6'2". He weighs 287 pounds. This is Cactus Jack. So Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack looking to get back into championship contention tonight. But they are going to have a tough matchup indeed as they face a very popular duo now coming down to the ring at a total combined weight of 438 pounds out of El Paso, Texas. This is Chavo Guerrero Jr. and his tag team partner, Eddie Guerrero. The Guerreros have come to take on Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack in tonight's opening matchup. And here we go. As we are ready for action, it will be Cactus Jack opening up the match against Eddie Guerrero. This should be a very exciting and unpredictable matchup. As we get our pin counters ready and our token, our interference tokens ready, each team with 2 pin save or outside interference chances per match. And I believe we have everything underway to get things started as we say hello to Kathy Evans joining us here at ringside. And oh, the opening matchup is tied. And that means we go to our face to the match highlight center booklet. And we flip over to the tag team page. And it will be Cactus Jack on a roll of, on the high roll, going to the tag team matches result in the book. And the roll is 3-1. Is this a favorite? Indeed, he is not the favorite. Opponents alternate blows on wrestler while wrestler's partner watches helplessly. So the match starts with Cactus Jack getting banged around by Eddie and Chavo, much to the delight of the crowd here in Columbia. And that puts Eddie Guerrero in control. And Eddie is going to go with a Hurricane Rana. And right away, he is going for a pin on Cactus Jack. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 9, Cactus Jack kicks out, but the Guerrero brothers have started this one off with a bang. Eddie in control. Eddie is not going to let Cactus Jack escape from the ring, and instead, Eddie is going to roll up and hit another Hurricane Rana. And another pin attempt here. The pin roll is 3 or lower. And on a roll of 10, Cactus Jack kicks out again, but he is already in trouble. Here comes Chavo, and we're going to see some Guerrero double teaming. And oh, on a roll of 2, your team flattens the opponent with a deadly face first double suplex. Opponent rolls pin. Another pin attempt here on Cactus Jack. The pin roll is 4. And on a roll of 6, Cactus Jack is able to kick out again. But that is 3 tokens, and that means Kevin Sullivan has seen enough, and it is time for Sullivan to get his first interference of the match. On the outside interference chart, and on a roll of 7, your ally attacks the opponent in a brawl, results roll disqualification 4. There is no disqualification, so we go to the odd even roll. And on the even roll, it will be Sullivan winning the brawl, but on a roll of 1, it is Eddie Guerrero taking out Kevin Sullivan, and that sets up Chavo on level 3 offense against Cactus Jack, with Cactus Jack down and in trouble. And Chavo is going to go up for a death jump. Death jump B is Cactus Jack, and on a roll of 8, Chavo hits the missile drop kick off the top rope, and Cactus Jack is down. Chavo, what's he going to do now? He is going to go for the Brain Buster. And that stuns Cactus Jack. Jack slowly getting to his feet as Chavo is going to tag back into Eddie. And Eddie comes in with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Cactus Jack, and on a roll of 10, it is a big kick by Eddie Guerrero that stuns Cactus Jack. And Eddie follows that up with a top rope arm drag, taking Cactus Jack back down to the canvas. Eddie on the offense here, another top rope arm drag. Can Cactus Jack get over and make the tag on a roll of 11? He cannot. And now it's going to be Eddie and Chavo on the double team once again, and on a roll of 2, again they nail it. The deadly face first double suplex. Opponent rolls pin. The pin roll now is 5 or lower. And on a roll of 10, Cactus Jack is able to kick out. Just barely. And Eddie now is in charge here. And it's going to be Eddie again preventing Cactus Jack from escaping the ring. And Eddie now instead is going to go for the top rope arm drag, and that puts Cactus Jack back down on the canvas. Jack in big trouble here. Again, he tries to get out of the ring, and again, Eddie will not let that happen. Another big arm drag takes Cactus Jack back down to the canvas. Here's a big suplex by Eddie Guerrero. Back suplex that puts Cactus Jack down, and he stays down as Eddie goes up for the frog splash. That is a +3 finisher. The pin roll is 9. Here comes Sullivan on the pin save. And on a roll of 10, the pin save is unsuccessful. The pin roll here is 9 or lower. And on a roll of 9, he got him. How about that? The Guerreros dominate this match as Cactus Jack takes a total of 5 points of fatigue. Nobody else even got touched in this match, and Eddie pins Cactus Jack with the frog splash. Oh my goodness, what a dominant performance by the Guerreros. They started off double teaming Cactus Jack, and they did not let up until the deal was done. So congratulations to Eddie and CHAVO. They have won that match. That's a qualifying match, and that puts them in line for a #1 Contenders match and a possible showdown against the Midnight Express, your current Atlantic Tag Team Champions. How about that? What an outstanding opening match for Eddie and CHAVO. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for your next matchup. We are almost ready. As I forgot to pull the WAHOO McDaniel card to bring him to ringside for this match. And WAHOO, I believe, is still in the stack of cards. Yeah, there's WAHOO. This is his first official appearance in the Heartland, as he is seconding Blackjack Mulligan for this match. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest rules are in effect. As this is a standard singles matchup here in the Heartland. I just got a little disconnection message, and now I seem to be back, so give me a thumbs up if you are still here and the broadcast is still live, or a status update would be wonderful. But it looks like everything is still up to snuff. So the show will go on. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. This is a standard singles match, so disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Bobby the Brain Heenan. He stands at 6'3" and weighs in at 256 pounds out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota. This is Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig. And his opponent comes to you now from Eagle Pass, Texas. He stands at 6'9" and weighs 340 pounds out of Eagle Pass, Texas. This is Blackjack Mulligan. And Mulligan representing Old School Justice here in the AWF, and he will be accompanied at ringside by Chief WAHOO McDaniel. So yeah, this should be a very interesting matchup. We'll give Bobby a couple of interference tokens, and we'll give WAHOO a couple of interference tokens if he needs them. But the principals in this matchup are Curt Hennig and Blackjack Mulligan, two outstanding wrestling legends representing two outstanding legendary wrestling families. And the opening initiative role is won by Curt Hennig. As they come together in the center of the ring, it is Hennig with a hip toss, taking Blackjack down to the canvas. Blackjack gets right back up. They come back together in the center of the ring, and now it is Hennig attempting a series of punches That, unfortunately for him, is a power move, and that means Blackjack Mulligan blocks those punches. And it's Mulligan who comes back with a series of clubbing forearms, just beating down on Hennig and forcing Hennig to retreat. As Blackjack Mulligan now is on the attack, and now he goes with a blatant claw choke. Claw choke applied by Blackjack Mulligan. Bobby Heenan is furious, and the referee steps in and forces Mulligan to break that hold. And Hennig is going to take advantage with another hip toss, dumping Mulligan back down to the canvas. And now they get back up and come together again in the center of the ring. And oh, this time it is Mulligan with a rake of the eyes. Mulligan is not pulling any of his punches here tonight in Columbia, as Hennig is staggered, and now a big running boot delivered by Blackjack Mulligan. But Hennig fires right back, and Hennig comes back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Blackjack Mulligan. And on the roll of 8, that is a running back elbow delivered by Curt Hennig that stuns Blackjack Mulligan. And now Hennig is going to follow that up with a choice B maneuver. He'll go with a whip to the turnbuckle. Let's see, choice B is agility or turnbuckle. Yeah, the agility is +2. So Hennig is going to go for the agility roll here on the back suplex, and he hits it. But again, Blackjack Mulligan getting to his feet. And now this time as they come together, it is Mulligan who grabs Hennig as he comes in and body slams him down hard to the canvas. Hennig is down after that big body slam by Blackjack Mulligan. What's Mulligan going to do? He goes with the back elbow ram, and Hennig is stunned. Mulligan follows that up with a kick to the chest. That is a choice A maneuver, so he will need the power roll to hit that on a roll of 8 or lower. And on a roll of 5, he got him up, over, and down hard with that kick to the chest. Both men again getting to their feet. And as they come together in the center of the ring, this time it is Hennig trying a chop to the chest. And again, Mulligan is unimpressed by that. And Mulligan swings a boot at Hennig, and Hennig is unimpressed by that. Reversals, back and forth, here we go. And now it is Hennig with another chop to the chest, and Mulligan once again with the no-sell, and this time he connects with a big boot to the face, and Hennig is stunned. Mulligan with another running stomp to Hennig as Hennig scrambles to his feet. And now it is Mulligan with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Curt Hennig, and on a roll of 9, it is a big kick by Blackjack Mulligan. Those size 14 boots of Mulligan doing their damage to Hennig here. And now it is another series of clubbing forearms delivered by Mulligan. Hennig ducks away, and another chop to the chest has no effect on Big Blackjack. And more of these clubbing forearms beating down Curt Hennig in the center of the ring as Bobby Heenan looks on with his face etched in concern. Here are more of the clubbing forearms delivered by Mulligan. And back to that blatant claw chokehold is Mulligan. And again, the referee steps in and again puts the count on Blackjack Mulligan and forces him to break the hold. Mulligan, undaunted, continues on the attack. He's going to try for a belly-to-belly suplex on a roll of 8 or lower, and he got him down. And Hennig is again stunned on the mat, but again getting to his feet as they come together in the center of the ring. And this time it is Hennig attempting a hip toss. Mulligan powers his way out of that, and Mulligan goes back to that chokehold. Bobby Heenan is furious at ringside as Mulligan with another big boot to the head of Hennig. And Mulligan with a rake of the eyes. Hennig has had enough of that. Hennig fires back, and this time it is Hennig with a snapmare that takes Mulligan down. Hennig stays on him with another hip toss, and Mulligan again gets to his feet. Hennig now with another hip toss. This one blocked by Mulligan, and it's Mulligan with another rake of the eyes, and Bobby Heenan is beside himself now, just screaming at the referee as Mulligan has fractured about every rule there is. And here's another big boot to the face by Mulligan. And Hennig is just going to leave the ring and go out to the arena floor. This may not be Hennig's best move against Blackjack Mulligan, who is the superior brawler. But Hennig leaves the ring, and on a roll of 7, it is indeed Mulligan winning the brawl on the arena floor and slamming the head of Curt Hennig into the ring post. So no respite for Curt Hennig on the arena floor as Blackjack Mulligan is in control, and action will remain out of the ring on the arena floor. We'll not see any shenanigans yet, but on a roll of 4, we'll actually see the big brawl with which could result in either or both men being disqualified. Will Blackjack Mulligan be disqualified? No. Will Curt Hennig be disqualified? No. We go now to the odd-even roll with Hennig getting the even roll. And on a roll of 2, it is Hennig who wins the brawl on the arena floor, backdropping Blackjack Mulligan onto the announcer's table. Mulligan came at him with a big lariat. Hennig ducked and backdropped Mulligan onto the announcer's table, and now it is Mulligan in trouble. And now it is the sleeper hold applied by Curt Hennig to Blackjack Mulligan. Mulligan is going to again head out to the arena floor, and on a roll of 6, that is Mulligan who is going to take control with the brawl. He will not be disqualified as he Irish whips Curt Hennig into the ring barricade. Now Mulligan in control. And Mulligan is going to keep things out of the ring yet again. Again, no shenanigans as of yet. And on a roll of 8, it is another big win for Mulligan on the arena floor as he body slams Curt Hennig onto the concrete. The Brain keeping his distance with Wahoo there as we say hello to Miho Burns now in the chat room. Mulligan back in control, and out of the ring we go yet again. Still no rolls on the shenanigans chart yet. And this time it is Blackjack Mulligan slamming the head of Curt Hennig onto the ring apron. And as you know, if you have watched Heartland Championship Wrestling fans, the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring. Hennig is stunned. Heenan is very unhappy, and now Mulligan is going to the Blackjack Claw. This is his finisher. It is a +2. So the submission roll will be 4 or lower, and on a roll of 9, Hennig is able to make his way to the ropes and force the Blackjack Claw to be broken. But Hennig has taken a beating here these past several minutes, and Mulligan has taken control. And Mulligan goes right back to the Blackjack Claw a second time. The submission roll now is 5. And on a roll of 10, Hennig again is able to make his way to the ropes. And Bobby Heenan is very animated now at ringside. He is yelling and screaming. And Wahoo McDaniel has his eyes fixed on Bobby Heenan in the event that Heenan pulls any of his shenanigans, as Mulligan again pitches Hennig out to the arena floor. We still haven't hit the shenanigans roll yet. That requires 9 or higher. But Hennig on the arena floor this time is going to take another beating and get dropped stomach first across the security railing by Blackjack Mulligan. Curt Hennig is taking a pounding here. And now we have a choice H maneuver. That can be either the agility roll or the death jump. Neither of these is a really good idea for Mulligan, so he will go for the he'll go agility on 5 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he hit the knee to the gut. And Hennig is down. How about that? Mulligan still in control. And now Mulligan pitches Hennig out of the ring again. Still no shenanigans roll. And on a roll of 6, it is the best man wins roll, and that is Mulligan indeed. And now it is a big kick by Mulligan. I wouldn't call it a drop kick in Mulligan's case, but he boots Hennig in the chest, and Hennig tumbles out over the security railing. And yeah, I can just picture Hennig flopping all over the place and selling like crazy for Mulligan in these big kicks. So yeah, this is a fun match to imagine. As Mulligan is back in control, and again out of the ring we go, and now we have shenanigans. Shenanigans taking place on the arena floor. Into action comes the out of the ring again chart. The roll on the out of the ring again chart is 10, and that brings in outside interference. And Bobby Heenan is now going to get involved. What's Heenan going to do here? The roll is 9. Heenan attempts to give his wrestler a foreign object, but the opponent intercepts it. The opponent uses it, but may be seen by the referee. Opponent rolls disqualification 5. That foreign object was a boot. Bobby the Brain Heenan took off one of his shoes and gave it to Curt Hennig, but Hennig lost control of the shoe. It was stolen by Mulligan. Mulligan hits Hennig with the boot. The disqualification roll here is 5 or lower. And on a roll of 9, there will be no disqualification. Instead, Mulligan goes for the cover. The pin roll now is 4. And on a roll of 8, Hennig is able to kick out. But Hennig now has been busted open. That shot from the boot has busted open Curt Hennig. And now Mulligan goes back to the Blackjack Claw. That is a +2 finisher. The finishing roll now 7 or lower. Heenan's going to try for the distraction on a roll of 8 or lower. The distraction is unsuccessful. And now it is a submission on a roll of 7 or lower. And on a roll of 7, he got him. Another dominant performance by Blackjack Mulligan as he puts away Hennig with the Blackjack Claw after busting open Hennig with a boot shot, courtesy of one Bobby the Brain Heenan. So not a good outcome for Heenan here tonight. Blackjack Mulligan victorious in singles competition by way of the Blackjack Claw. All right, so congratulations to Blackjack celebrating in the ring with Wahoo McDaniel. Again, that hand signal for justice for all being displayed by the members of the Old School Justice, Blackjack Mulligan and Wahoo McDaniel. All right, 2 matches down, 2 to go. Let's catch up on what has been happening in the chat room. I think we had some updates on Neil Lau about action in the Velvet Wrestling Federation, his iteration of the ladies champion. It looks like Big Swole now holds the copper belt, and the Barrio Boys are the tag champs. Not familiar with the Barrio Boys, so if you can fill us in on who those might be, that would be beneficial. I believe we did say hello to Miho Burns. Respect Mr. Perfect Mulligan. The Brain is in danger with Wahoo there. And some Miho Burns openly representing for the heels. Yes, Curt Hennig took a beating from Blackjack Mulligan tonight and came up on the losing end of that singles match. So a win for the Guerreros, a win for Blackjack Mulligan, and the crowd here in Columbia, Missouri is excited about what they have seen in our first couple of first couple of bouts here tonight. And now up next, folks, we have a tag team grudge match. Brian Pillman, who has been without a tag team partner since his former partner Tom Zank was injured at the hands of Mr. Fuji and Mr. SAITO. But Brian Pillman has come to Columbia, Missouri here tonight, and he has got a surprise in store for Fuji and SAITO. And we do not know what that surprise might be, but Pillman has promised us a mystery partner. Salvador America here in the chat room. Welcome, Salvador. Mulligan took Hennig behind the woodshed. That is a good old-fashioned butt-kicking indeed, administered by Blackjack Mulligan here tonight in Missouri. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your following contest is a tag team match with no disqualification rules. This is a grudge match. Introducing first, team number 1 from Japan, standing at 5'11", weighing 262 pounds, from Tokyo, Japan. This is Mr. SAITO. And his tag team partner hails from Osaka, Japan, 5'10", 258 pounds. It's Mr. FUJI. Nice tag team artwork provided to us by the one and only Werner Muke. As these two official Filsinger Games cards are part of expansion pack 10. And their opponents introducing first from Hollywood, California. He stands at 6 foot tall and weighs 226 pounds. This is Flying Brian Pillman. And now the fans are coming to their feet as they want to know who the mystery partner is that Pillman has brought to Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, he hails from the nation of Japan, from the city of Hiroshima. He stands at 5'7". He weighs 209 pounds. This is Jushin Thunder Liger. So Jushin Thunder Liger joining Brian Pillman for tag team action here against fellow Japanese Mr. FUJI and Mr. SAITO. Very nice Liger card. This is actually the same stats that are on the black and white Jushin Liger card from the Filsinger Games original sets. This, however, is a bootleg card with artwork provided by Werner Muke as part of one of the underground bootleg union issues in the fall of 2021. So good looking artwork by Werner to beautify an original black and white Filsinger card from Jushin Thunder Liger. Not who I was expecting, says Miho Burns. Liger and Pillman did have a history together, and although this is the Pillman Hollywood Blondes card, it's the only Pillman card I have. He has been wrestling as a babyface alongside Tom Zank and now alongside Jushin Thunder Liger here in Columbia for this grudge match. Grudge match dice will be in play as Liger and Pillman prepare to take on Mr. FUJI and Mr. SAITO. And it will indeed be Pillman starting things off against FUJI as SAITO stands outside the ring. SAITO, the one who really perpetrated the attack on Tom Zank, and Pillman is really wanting to get his hands on SAITO. But the shrewd Japanese are playing the mind games here as SAITO is going to let Mr. FUJI start things off for the Japanese here tonight. And the opening initiative roll is once again tied. So once again, we go to our Face to the Mat Highlight Center booklet to see what kind of mischief Mr. FUJI may have in his arsenal. And this time, instead of tag team, we're going to use the hardcore chart because this is a grudge match. The roll is 3-4. Is the wrestler powerful? Let's see, FUJI is more powerful than Pillman, so he will get away with this. Wrestler tosses opponent into the cheap seats and heaps refuse on top of him. A show of contempt by Mr. FUJI, starting this match off with an insult to Brian Pillman. Tossing Pillman into the crowd and dumping somebody's beer all over Pillman out of the crowd here in Missouri, and Pillman is outraged as he storms into the ring. But FUJI is there ready and waiting, and FUJI hits him with a kamikaze clothesline and just takes Pillman right out of his boots. Is Pillman going to be able to make a tag? Yes, he is, and right off the chute, Here comes Jushin Thunder Liger, and he is coming after Fuji with a vengeance. Liger comes in with an arm drag. And Fuji responds with a punch to the side of the head. Liger comes right back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Mr. Fuji, and on a roll of 9, that is the power roll, and the power advantage again belongs to Mr. Fuji. So Mr. Fuji takes down Jushin Liger with a running shoulder tackle. And Fuji now in control, Fuji with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Liger, and oh, on a roll of 3, it is Liger. As Fuji sets himself for the backdrop too soon, and Liger grabs him and hits him with an awesome pile driver. Liger is an ace on a roll of 3. That's the sunset flip into the pin. Pin attempt on Mr. Fuji. The pin roll is 3. And on a roll of 5, Fuji able to kick out. But Liger has very quickly changed the momentum of this match. And now it is Liger attempting a running clothesline. Mr. Fuji powers his way out of that and comes back with a big suplex, taking Liger down to the mat. And Fuji now wants to slow down the pace of the match and not let Liger get loose. And so it is Fuji now who will tag into Mr. Saito. More than happy to come into the ring with Liger on the mat and Pillman on the ring apron. Here's an oriental leg sweep by Mr. Saito, taking Liger back down to the canvas. Saito follows that up with a big chop to the chest. Liger stunned as Saito hits him again, this time with a big chop off of the second rope. Saito's going to go for the pin. The pin roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 5, he almost got him. So Saito now exerting his power and his will on Jushin Liger. Saito, a very dangerous man indeed. And now Saito with the big Saito suplex. He's going to go for the cover here. The pin roll is 6. Pillman with a mandatory pin save, and on a roll of 4, Pillman is able to save his partner. But Saito has taken control here. Here comes Mr. Fuji. We're going to see a double team on Liger. And on a roll of 9, it is Saito holding Liger in his grasp as Fuji comes off with a big karate chop right between the eyes. And Fuji now is in control. Liger, 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 says Miho Burns. It's a little known fact that Jushin Thunder Liger is indeed the favorite wrestler of one Napoleon Dynamite. Fuji now in control. What's he going to do? He's going to go for the Fuji nerve grip. And he is going to attempt to force Jushin Thunder Liger to submit. The submission roll is 6. Pillman's got to come in for the save. And on a roll of 6, Pillman makes the save. But Liger in big trouble here at the hands of Fuji and Saito. Fuji now goes with a twisting back headbutt. He's going to go for the cover again. The pin roll now is 7, and on a roll of 6, he got him. Fuji and Saito dominated that match. As Fuji gets the pinfall over Jushin Liger with the twisting back headbutt. And life has not gotten any more pleasant for Brian Pillman as his big surprise, Jushin Thunder Liger, has gone down to defeat. And frustration continues for Flying Brian Pillman here tonight in Columbia, Missouri, as Mr. Saito and Mr. Fuji bow very disrespectfully and sarcastically at Liger and Pillman, as Liger and Pillman are forced to collect their thoughts and head back to the dressing room. Pillman checking on Jushin Liger as they go out of the ring. And oh my goodness, as they go out of the ring, Brian Pillman has just clotheslined Jushin Thunder Liger across the back of the head. Liger is down and Pillman is putting the boots to him. Pillman has just blown up in anger. And Pillman is taking his frustrations out on Jushin Thunder Liger at ringside. Liger is helpless. He already took a beating from Fuji and SAITO, and now PILLMAN has snapped, and he is going after Liger with boots, with kicks, with elbows and slaps, and he is screaming in the face of Jushin Thunder Liger, who is helpless to do anything about it. And PILLMAN has just left Jushin Thunder Liger laying at ringside, suffering his second beating of the night, as PILLMAN has had enough. The loose cannon indeed has gotten loose. And he has beaten down Jushin Liger here in Missouri. Post-match beat down by PILLMAN. And we may have to see now a grudge match between PILLMAN and Jushin Liger, as Liger not at all happy about the beating he just took at the hands of Flying Brian PILLMAN. And who knows, somewhere in the background, there may be yet another person waiting in the wings to form an alliance with Flying Brian PILLMAN. But for tonight, PILLMAN has snapped, and he has just gone totally nuclear on Jushin Liger. Liger has taken such a beating, I hear he thinks he is Canadian. All right, indeed. So that is it for tonight's tag team grudge match. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after all of that, it is time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. And this is a #1 contenders match for the Atlantic Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. The winner of this match will go on to our Thunderstruck pay-per-view in 2 weeks to meet the champion, Nick Aldis, with the Heavyweight Championship on the line. Disqualification rules are in effect for this match, but I doubt that they will come into play, given the respect that these two men have for one another. But when the competitive juices heat up and the grits hit the pan, as Jushin Liger, as R-Truth likes to say, if the grits hit the pan, you never know what could happen between these two men. As we welcome to the chat room another couple of great Heartland fans, Mark Ferguson and the solo promoter, Grant Bachoco. Welcome to both of you. You are indeed just in time for the main event, and indeed you are fashionably late here in Columbia, Missouri. Introducing first, standing at 6'2", weighing 225 pounds, out of Yokohama, Japan, this is Antonio Inoki. And here's some strong words from Carl Zillow. Inoki is sort of a dick, so you never know if he's going to do something shady. Well, certainly if what was that dude's name? The Great Antonio. If the Great Antonio shows up, indeed, you never know what Inoki is capable of. And hopefully, Dusty Rhodes will not make the mistakes that were made by one Great Antonio. But your opponent, his opponent, standing at 6 foot tall, weighing 289 pounds, out of Austin, Texas, he is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So Dusty Rhodes and Antonio Inoki here in Columbia, Missouri, in tonight's main event with a title match on the line. So this is not a championship match, but what the heck, we'll use the championship dice anyways, because it is the main event and it is a #1 contenders match with championship implications in play. And the opening initiative role is won by Inoki. As they come together, it is Inoki with a reverse hammerlock. That is an agility move. Inoki does have the agility advantage. Dusty Rhodes, of course, the power advantage between these two men. And Inoki follows that up with some karate kicks to the leg. As was pointed out by Carl Zilla, the legs of Muhammad Ali suffered greatly. But Dusty Rhodes is going to come back from that, and it is Rhodes who takes Inoki down and attempts a knee joint scissor lock. But Inoki is able to escape from that. Better mat wrestler is Antonio Inoki, and it is Inoki who is going to come back with some jumping stomps, and he is going to follow that up with an attempt at a moonsault. This will require 8 or lower on the choice C roll, and on a roll of 9, Dusty Rhodes got out of the way of the moonsault. And it is Dusty Rhodes coming back with a big vertical suplex to take Inoki down to the canvas. They come together once again in the center of the ring. It is Rhodes who takes advantage and goes with a headlock and a punch to the side of the head. And Rhodes now is going to attempt a belly-to-belly suplex on a roll of 8 or lower. And on a roll of 2, he got him up, over, and down. And Inoki slow to get to his feet as Rhodes moves in. Rhodes now with a big drop kick. Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it to knock Inoki off balance. And again, they meet up in the center of the ring. Rhodes with a double leg takedown on Inoki and a standing ankle twist. Rhodes knows that Inoki is ever so dangerous with those karate kicks, and he's trying to slow that down. And now it is Rhodes with the flip, flop, and fly. The elbow drop onto Antonio Inoki. Inoki is hurt, and Rhodes remains in control. Again, trying to work that knee joint scissor lock, and again, Inoki able to execute a reversal and get to his feet and sting Dusty Rhodes with a karate kick to the leg. Inoki back in control here. Inoki goes for a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Dusty Rhodes, but on a roll of 4, that is Inoki setting his head too soon, and Dusty coming off with a big elbow smash to the back of the head. Good move there by Dusty Rhodes. Dusty now in control, and he is going to pitch Inoki out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And this is where Dusty has a distinct advantage. But on a roll of 5, it is Inoki who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a suplex onto the arena floor. Will we see a disqualification here? That's one roll of 5. And on a roll of 5 or lower, we may see the DQ. But Antonio Inoki with a roll of 6 just avoids the DQ. What's Inoki going to do now? He is going to go for a death jump. Actually, Dusty Rhodes has a death jump rating of A. So Inoki is going to think better of that and roll up on level 2 offense, where he stings Dusty with another karate kick to the leg. Inoki follows that up with a hard open hand slap across the chest. Dusty Rhodes is not impressed by that, and it is Dusty who comes back with a big elbow smash to the side of the head. And that puts Inoki down. Inoki is down. And now it is Dusty going for the big elbow drop. That's a 0 finisher. The pin roll here is 1 or lower, so will not need a roll, but that is going to cost Antonio Inoki a point of fatigue, as Dusty gets the first pin attempt of the match. And now Dusty going to the figure 4. Figure 4 leg lock applied by Dusty Rhodes. The submission roll here is 3. And on a roll of 9, Inoki able to make his way over to the bottom rope and force the hold to be broken. But Dusty Rhodes is taking control here, and now Dusty goes back to another big elbow drop. He goes for the cover again. Again, the pin roll is 3, and on a roll of 10, Inoki is able to kick out once again. Dusty has taken control, and now Dusty is thought about a death jump, thought better of it. Dusty's going to roll up and go back to that knee joint scissor lock. Dusty's strategy is clear here. He's working the legs of Inoki, both to slow down Inoki's dangerous karate kicks and also maybe set up for that figure 4 leg lock. But now as they come together in the center of the ring, it is Inoki gaining control, and Inoki catching Dusty by surprise with a drop kick. Inoki follows that up with more karate kicks to the leg. Dusty was ready for it. And oh, Dusty just drills Antonio Inoki right between the eyes with a bionic elbow. That is going to cost Inoki another point of fatigue. And Inoki goes down. And now we're going back to the figure 4 leg lock. And now the submission roll will be 6 or lower. And on a roll of 8, Inoki survives again. And boy, this Dusty Rhodes bootleg is a very, very strong card. He's got a double finisher and he's got an add 1 on level 2 offense. That is special. But Dusty Rhodes was a special competitor back in the day. Let's see what he's going to do now. He is going back to the figure 4 leg lock. The submission roll now is 7 or lower. And on a roll of 11, Inoki somehow manages to survive once again. Now the Stardust pile driver. Inoki finally gets to one knee as he is trying to shake it off and recover. Dusty goes back to the knee joint scissor lock, trying to further weaken Inoki. And now as Inoki gets to his feet, Dusty with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Antonio Inoki, and on a roll of 7, it is a big kick from Dusty that stuns Inoki. Dusty follows that up with another attempt at a vertical suplex. Both men are down. Both men slowly getting to their feet. Dusty still in control, and he hits Inoki with a headbutt. A big headbutt from Dusty Rhodes that stuns Inoki. And now another bionic elbow executed by Dusty Rhodes, and another point of fatigue on Inoki. Inoki has very little left in the tank as Dusty is on him. Here is the flip, flop, and fly. That spinning elbow. And again, Inoki able to get up from that and get back to his feet very slowly. Dusty still in control and still pounding on Inoki with those elbow smashes. And finally now, Inoki is leaving the ring. Out of the ring goes Antonio Inoki, but on a roll of 9, it is Dusty who wins the brawl on the arena floor and backdrops Antonio Inoki onto the announcer's table. There's just nothing good happening for Inoki here in the last few minutes of this match as he crawls back into the ring ahead of the 10 count. And Dusty is now going to catch him with a sleeper. Sleeper hold applied by Dusty Rhodes. Inoki is staggering. Dusty stays on him, and another big bionic elbow pounds the head of Inoki, and Inoki once again rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And this time it is Dusty with a big move on the arena floor, ramming Inoki back first into the ring apron. We may see a count out here. The count out roll is 9 or lower, and on a roll of 7, that's it. Antonio Inoki counted out after having his back rammed into the ring apron by Dusty Rhodes and taking all other kinds of punishment from Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes is your winner. And Antonio Inoki has just been beaten half to death in this match. So congratulations to Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes will move on to the pay-per-view at the Thunderstruck pay-per-view 2 weeks from tonight, where he will meet Nick Aldis for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. Let's catch up with everything that happened here in the chat room while I was busy broadcasting. Let's see. Mark Ferguson heard a jobber tried for a comeback in a squash match. So Dusty jumped his case and beat around the locker room and tell him to come back from that. Yeah, the Dusty card is part of the first Ubu set, and it is a strong card indeed. Miho Burns wants to see a chop contest between Inoki and Gunther. Yeah, that would be fun to watch. Carl Zilla pulling for Inoki. Sorry to disappoint you here tonight. Let's see, did Grant stream the HEW show this morning? Not sure we got a response from Grant on that. Yeah, some comments about Vince McMahon. And of course, innocent until proven guilty is the American way. But my wife, who, as you know, does not really follow wrestling to any extent, did hear about the Vince McMahon allegations, and she said to me, "Honey, do you really think that's true?" And I said, "Well, you know, innocent until proven guilty, but if you want to know my opinion with Vince McMahon, that is probably just the tip of the iceberg, with allegations of over $19 million in hush money paid to various women over the years by one Mr. McMahon." And here's Salvador America. Rhodes went through INOKI like he goes through a pie. Forget about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight. Thank you all for the lively banter in the chat. Thank you all for checking things out here in the Heartland. Thank you for those of you who have hit the like button. And if you have not hit the like button, please consider doing so on your way out through the turnstile. So Miho Burns, solo promoter Grant Bachoco, Mark Ferguson, Salvador America, Neil Lau. Always first in line is Neil, and thank you for your continuing support of the channel. Carl Zilla, Frank Wainscott. I missed Frank Wainscott coming in. Hello to you, Frank Wainscott, and thank you for joining us. Kathy Evans was here earlier in the show. Derek Bauman also was here. Pops Reviews. Always good to hear from Pops Reviews. And I believe that is everybody. So thank you all very much for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow morning, My Journey with Jesus will again be on the airways for those of you who are so inclined. Next Saturday, we will be back in action, the good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, with another show here in Heartland Championship Wrestling. So until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.